The following content has been generated with artificial intelligence under minimal human supervision. The data presented may contain errors or inaccuracies. The opinions expressed in this content do not necessarily reflect the vision, position, or values of DigiAll. We recommend verifying critical information with additional sources before making decisions based on this content.
Welcome to DigiAll Tech News. Today is Friday, January 2nd, 2026. I'm Kylie Brooks, and this is where technology becomes clear and engaging. Sanders and Ron DeSantis are teaming up against the AI industry's data center expansion, and it's creating serious political headwinds. Baidu just filed for a Hong Kong IPO of its AI chip subsidiary Kunlunxin, making a major bet on China's semiconductor independence. Wired magazine is facing a potential data breach affecting over 2.3 million subscribers after hackers accessed Condé Nast systems. Hangzhou, China's Silicon Valley, is building everything from cutting-edge robots to AI fortune-telling apps in a wildly diverse tech ecosystem. NVIDIA's GeForce RTX 5090 prices are already approaching $4,000, nearly double the official MSRP, and we're only days into 2026. Here's something you don't see every day: Sanders and Ron DeSantis agreeing on something. And what brings these political opposites together? The AI industry's massive appetite for electricity. Earlier this week, Sanders called for a national moratorium on data center construction, questioning what happens when automation leaves people without jobs. Meanwhile, DeSantis unveiled an AI Bill of Rights back in early December that protects communities' rights to block data centers, citing limited grid capacity. What's really interesting here is the timing. With electricity prices forecast to jump 4% nationwide this year, after a 5% increase last year, this is becoming a kitchen table issue. The PJM grid, which serves 65 million people across 13 states, is facing a 6 gigawatt shortage by next year. That's equivalent to all of Philadelphia's electricity demand. And when capacity costs have surged with $23 billion linked to data centers being passed to consumers, you can see why politicians are paying attention. This isn't just about the environment anymore, it's about your electric bill. Moving to China, Baidu just made a significant move today by confidentially filing for a Hong Kong listing of Kunlunxin, its AI chip subsidiary. Now, this is part of Beijing's broader push for semiconductor self-sufficiency, especially as US restrictions limit access to NVIDIA's cutting-edge chips. What I find fascinating is how Kunlunxin has evolved. It started as an internal supplier for Baidu's own AI infrastructure, but has shifted to selling chips to third parties. Last year, they're projected to have hit over $500 million in revenue and reached break-even. That's impressive for a chip startup in such a competitive space. They've won significant orders from China mobile suppliers and raised funding that values the company at about 21 billion yuan. JP Morgan analysts are forecasting their chip sales could increase sixfold to 8 billion yuan this year. The key advantage? Strong software compatibility with common AI frameworks, making it easier to migrate workloads from NVIDIA. But here's the reality check. Kunlunxin can't fully replace NVIDIA due to manufacturing constraints. It excels in inference tasks and workloads for government and state-owned users who prioritize stable supply and cost over peak performance. This IPO is really about China building a diversified domestic AI chip ecosystem, alongside players like Huawei and Alibaba. Now, this wired breach story is troubling. Earlier this week, a hacker going by the name Lovely claimed to have accessed Condé Nast systems and is threatening to leak personal information of over 2.3 million wired subscribers. This affects all Condé Nast properties, including The New Yorker, Vogue, and Vanity Fair. What's particularly concerning is the hacker's accusation that Condé Nast ignored vulnerability reports and didn't take security concerns seriously. Independent verification by Bleeping Computer and InfoStealer confirmed the breach is legitimate. The database contains email addresses and optional fields like names, phone numbers, physical addresses, gender, and birth dates, though most fields are empty. Only about 1,500 records out of 2.3 million contain complete profiles. But here's the kicker. the hacker claims access to up to 40 million additional records across Condé Nast's entire portfolio and is selling the wired database for just $2.30 on hacking forums. That's almost symbolic pricing, which suggests this might be more about making a statement than profit. Condé Nast hasn't issued a public statement yet, and the database has been added to Have I Been Pooned so subscribers can check their exposure. Let's talk about Hangzhou, often called China's Silicon Valley. What makes this ecosystem so fascinating is the sheer diversity of what's being built. On one side, you have companies developing cutting-edge chips, advanced robotics, and brain-computer interfaces. Companies like Manycore, Unitree, and Deep Robotics are pushing the boundaries of physical AI and spatial computing. On the other side, across town, you've got entrepreneurs creating AI virtual pets and fortune-telling apps. It's this wild blend of frontier research and grassroots experimentation. What's enabling this is China's focus on open-source AI models and lower energy costs that make innovation more accessible. Manycore, for instance, has open-sourced its spatial AI model, which is a very different approach from the pay-to-use systems you see from OpenAI or Anthropic in the US. This gathers valuable feedback but limits direct revenue, creating interesting investor pressures. What I find really compelling is how AI is empowering individual developers to escape traditional corporate career paths. Observers like Afra Wang describe them as becoming super individuals, building profitable ventures independently or in tiny teams. The intense domestic competition and consumer resistance to paid apps is also pushing founders to think globally from day one. It's a completely different innovation model than what we see in Silicon Valley. Finally, let's talk about NVIDIA's RTX 5090, because this pricing situation is getting out of hand. The official MSRP for the Founders Edition is $1,999, but good luck finding one at that price. It's exclusively available through NVIDIA's store via verified priority access drops, making it nearly impossible to obtain. AIB partner cards start at a higher MSRP of $2,499, and they're limited to in-store pickups at select locations. But here's where it gets wild. Yesterday, major online retailers were listing cards well above MSRP due to overwhelming demand. Prices start at over $3,000 on NVIDIA's key partners, with most options surpassing $3,500. Newegg is showing Founders Edition variants nearing $3,700. That's almost double the MSRP. Amazon's lowest offer is $2,999 for the Asus TUF Gaming Edition, and that's restricted to Prime members only. There's speculation about NVIDIA hiking the official MSRP to $5,000, but there's no substantiation from board partners. What's clear is that as we approach the card's one-year mark, achieving broad MSRP availability seems unlikely. This is a stark contrast to the expectations we had just months ago about supply improving. From political pushback on AI infrastructure to China's semiconductor ambitions, from data breaches to GPU price surges, the tech landscape continues to evolve rapidly. We'll keep tracking these developments as they unfold. Thank you for staying informed with Digital Tech News. We'll be back with more updates as they develop.